Último día del Corona Capital y voy caminando, me van a acompañar. Vamos a platicar con Mike Shinoda de Linkin Park, headliners de esta edición 2025 del Corona Capital. Iniciaron su gira en México, la terminan aquí en México y bueno, hay muchas cosas que platicar con él. It began in Mexico City and it ends in Mexico City. It's like a full circle for you. So I want to ask about how are you feeling after this magnificent year for you?
This has been a very busy year for us, but it's been great. It's been good. I think it's kind of like a fun little wrapping it up, starting and finishing this run here in Mexico DF. Do we still say DF?
Yeah, you can still call it the.
Or it's
what are the locals call it?
CDMX?
It's Chilango.
Chilano?
Yeah.
Do people really say CDMX?
No, nobody.
They don't,
nobody.
do they? I didn't think so. That sounds like an industry.
Yeah,
That like
it's
LA.
like the government, you know, like
That's like
CDMX.
the joke is that nobody in California calls it Cali.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, nobody says Cali.
If you call it Cali, we automatically know that you're not from California.
Yeah, you're probably from like Seattle.
From Wichita Falls.
Yeah, totally. You're from somewhere else. You call it Cali.
That's right. I mean, it's been a busy year and a magnificent year as well. So I want to ask if you can walk us through the minutes before that live stream a year ago, September 2024, after 8 years. What was like the emotions you were feeling minutes before the live stream? Because it was like a lot of anxious, joy, fear. What were you feeling before that?
Yeah, it was for sure all of those things and a lot more. Because we had, besides the fact that it had been years and it had been such a emotional like journey to get there, we also had made an album that we loved. We made new music. We were debuting a new song. We were trying to communicate like how in a way, like when we were trying to plan for it, we knew that the idea was to like, how do we invite the fans into this thing that we've made with, Emily and Colin, and do it in a way where it feels open, like, because it's such a tricky thing to do. And we all agreed that the music would really be like, to just play the music live would be the most honest way to do it. And once we committed to that, it was almost like, in my mind, I was almost like, oh no, like, why did we do this? Because the easiest way to do it is to make it and produce it and then just like put it on the internet. And then you don't have to do anything. Like, you've done all the hard work and it's very curated. It's safe. So instead we decided we're going to do this live show, and I'm sitting backstage just going like, shit.
What am I doing? And you just mentioned, as Emily and Colin joined the band, do you recall the moment when you feel like, okay, this is good, this is okay, this is evolving, and not repeating?
I had a lot of moments like that. Like, we would do a certain song and you'd hear like the magic coming together that ended up being the album. So imagine like the album being like, this like mosaic. It's like a Lego creation, right? Like, you've made a cool thing. In the early part, it was like, here's one Lego brick, and you look at it and go, oh, that's something. And here's another one. You put them together. Oh, it's like they're fitting together. And then after a while, you got 5,000 pieces, and it's there. And it's like, I can't believe we did that. So the excitement was it was like so many moments building together to become this album, to become the songs, to become what you saw in the live stream. And now, like, this thing that everybody's been enjoying, like, there've been all of these decisions along the way, like making certain videos or making certain, even a t-shirt or doing certain things during the show that we just go, oh, that was real, we should do that. Let's do that again tomorrow night. It was a really good thing we did. Like, it just felt, it's a kind of a big creation built on lots of little things.
You just put like a deluxe album with the new songs were those songs were written on the road? Where it didn't make
The bonus?
Yeah.
The three different songs on that were all kind of in three different places. Up from the Bottom was written like closer to the end of the whole process, and some of those other songs had been around since way early in the process, but we hadn't figured out kind of how to make them fit or what we wanted to do with them. So they're all kind of at different stages. I think when we're writing or working on an album, invariably in our 20 years of doing it, or 20 however many years, with each album, when you're coming to a finish point, you always have songs that are either like starting to get figured out, or they're ones that have been around for a long time that you just couldn't quite get them over the line, or like how to figure out how to finish them. And this was like the first time I feel like that we actually had some of those songs, and then intentionally said like, let's see if we can get these to be at a spot where they'd actually make sense to be on the record. And thankfully, the way that like the schedule worked out and the way that the timing fit, we did have that like little chunk of space to get that sorted out.
What was like the hardest part and the most liberating part of this whole process from Zero Out?
It's hard to pick one hardest part or one most rewarding part, because there's so many things that go into being a band, and so many things that go into the relationships that we have with each other, not only internally in the band, but then also reaching out to your fan base and the families that we have that are involved in that. Also, there's a lot of elements that go into the mix. Having said that, like we went through a lot of difficult moments, in the last decade. And the hardest part of that, I think, for me, when it comes to the band professionally, was probably thinking at times that we'd never really get to do it again. There's just a ton of moments where you're just like, well, we might not do anything again. Like, I think we will. My stock answer when somebody would ask me or talk to me about the band maybe 5 years ago, they'd say like, well, do you guys going to do anything? What do you think? And I'd tell them, I'm pretty sure nothing's happening in the next year or two, but I'd be surprised if we didn't do something in the next 5 to 10 years. It was always like short window, nothing's happening, long window, hopefully. And then the most rewarding thing was to get to a spot with momentum, initially with Mike and Joe and myself, and then eventually with Brad, and then also like working with Emily and working with Colin, where it was like we had just an energy that started to click, and the process of that then snowballing into like, oh, we love hanging out together. Like, oh, we love what we're making together. Like, oh, these doors are opening. Like, this seems like a fun opportunity. Let's chase that. Like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, wow, this gets me excited. Like, all those feelings started like happening again. And so at the end of that, to be able to be playing shows again, just hanging out as much as we get to when we're doing music and touring, those are all like the best parts by far.
And it feels like this new era as well. No, I mean, you're just not living about nostalgia. You're creatively creating a new chapter, and for me that's amazing. And for all the fans out there, it's like,
yeah, we're very fortunate to be able to be in a position where people do care about the new stuff, that they're listening to the new music, and when we add, I remember at an early point in this tour, we had added some new songs, and then there was a night where we took one or two of them out of the set and played more old stuff, and the fans online complained, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, this couldn't be better. Like, they don't even know it, but it's like one of the greatest compliments a band in our shoes can get, is to say like, we love the new material, and we're not just here to hear the old stuff. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I also love the fact that, one thing that comes with that is that those are songs with Emily on them. Like, they are only comparing Emily to Emily, as opposed to having a version that had Chester on it and stuff. And that's really special too. It's really nice for her, for that to be able to be the thing. So. God, I mean, like, yeah, so it's 20 years of Fort Minor Rising Tide.
Today?
I mean, like this week, right? Yeah.
How many guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
20 years is crazy.
Isn't it crazy? Doesn't feel like it. It's also like, that's one of those things that like we actually play a couple of Fort Minor things in the set, like pieces of it. we play Where'd You Go because Emily asked. She requested that we put it in the set because she loves that song. And then I had done in this like solo section, I had done Remember the Name. And there was some young kids who came to the show and were like, why is he playing that rap song? Like, that's an interesting cover.
Yeah.
They didn't know it's like my song. The four minor is like my thing. And it's really funny, like having that weird relationship with a record that like at the time was like, I think that Linkin Park, for me, it was a stepping stone. The Rising Tide Fort Minor record was a stepping stone into like expanding the horizons of what could be done with Linkin Park. Like I thought when I made that Fort Minor album, I thought I was making it because Linkin Park couldn't do music that sounded like that. And then after I did it, we all kind of realized, well, like if you want to do these, you know, more raps and beats and stuff, like do it with Linkin Park. And that's how I think that's like a reason that Waiting for the End sounds the way it does, is because the track of that is more of a hip hop track in a lot of ways. So we started incorporating more and a more integrated approach with different things that we like. And that was, I think that's important to the DNA. It became important to the DNA of Linkin Park.